Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first OpenONU Go meeting of 2022. First of all, thanks for joining and Happy New Year for those of you that are on the call. And glad. I hope your vacation went fine, and we can start strong this year. So first, few things on the agenda that I want to discuss. Or the fact that some of the open bugs and status of things and fixes ported to 2.8. Holger, maybe I think you're the best one to give us an update here.
Yesterday you told me that you want to backport the ONUS app to the new ONUS app to the 2.8, but now the new information is that this will not be done. Yes. And the question now arises is should we backport this issues we found during introduction of the ONUS app in 2.9 or in the master also to 2.8. It could be that they also are valid, but the likelihood is not is much more lower. Even because in 2.8 we are using the Kafka communication, and for example, reconciling went much faster than now with the gRPC handling. So actually, that was the question to you, if we should continue with backporting this stuff. For example, one of the examples was that we encountered a problem when the ONU adapter was restarted, and in the time until we reach communication, we come to be able to communicate again with the core. The flows were deleted. This could also be a case now. For example, if the adapter is kept down deliberately for seconds or some seconds or so, but the likelihood is not so big anymore. But what is your idea? Should we backport these issues anyway, or the fixes for these issues anyway?
So that's a good question. So for those of the people that are not in the know for many for the 2.8, so we were thinking of using the 2.9 version of ONUS with 2.8, and we started looking at what to backport to make sure that we could, because some of the few things changed. Holger, to answer your question, to be honest, given the rarity of things and given the set of elements that need to happen for that issue to surface into 2.8, I would say that given the amount of effort that you have to put in and the changes that are needed to the tests, I would say we avoid this.
Okay.
That would be my take. I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks, but my take is, given everything, we can probably skip it.
Okay, then we will concentrate us on the real errors, which also could be beside of these scenarios, which could appear beside of these scenarios in 2.8, right?
Yeah, so I would say that the things that for which we don't see an error in 2.8, or that we know can happen in a very, very seldom time or occasion, I would say we skip it. So we skip these two, but I would still like to understand how we stand in terms of the backporting of these fixes that were mentioned by Michael as a list of things that needed to be backported to 2.8.
Yeah, I already started with it. I think one or two of them I already backported.
Okay.
But okay, and I would continue with it, with this list.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so let me.
There were some in the meantime after this Jira was created, some more fixes came up. So I will contact you case by case, right? If there's
Sure.
some others of some new ones.
Yes.
Okay.
So we still have had this one also open to be discussed. But I do not see Ozgi on the call, and I have very little information about this. So does anybody know more about it?
Actually, we have already some did take already some measures for this, because according to my understanding, we log the UNI ports before we start to configure the MIP download towards ONU, and then when we are ready, then we unlock the ports again, and okay, but the background, but the background was that the ports are already locked by default, or by the upload, I think. But you said Özge was involved in this issue?
Again, as I said, I don't remember, and I have very little context. So maybe you can ping Ozge on this one. We can ask her.
But okay, this but shouldn't be so urgent, I think.
No. Okay. And do we remember anything about this one? Is this fixed?
Actually, we already discussed this was a scenario which could happen with the OLT app. You know, when we when we make a reconciling restart of the adapter and do not wait for the OLT app to finish deletion of the flows, then we came up and had problems to reconcile the ONUs. This is the failure or the use case we just discussed.
Okay.
We saw with the new OLT app.
But this is fixed in 2.9, but not in 2.8.
Yes, and we just said it would be very unlikely that we see this. No?
Gone. Perfect.
Yeah.
We don't do anything else. Okay, so this is also.
Andrea, you skipped too much. These are different points.
Yes. What about this one then? I don't have any memory about this.
This is a test case I changed, and you merged it on Monday, I think.
So this can be considered fixed?
There was a disable enable test case with the Unitech, I think. This is this, right?
Yeah.
And I made some changes before Christmas, and at the beginning of this week, Hardik tested it. It runs good, and so you take over the suggestion. But I don't know if Girish or Theo checked this.
No, I haven't checked it. I can take a look at it today.
But the test is passing, right? Or is it not? I believe it is passing.
The test is passed in the most cases, but once it was failed. And I think there is maybe an issue in the OpenONU Go adapter, but we have not enough traces or logs because it was only running in info level, not debug level. So I asked Hardik to set the debug level for all runs.
But how many successful runs we have seen now? Two, I think, or?
No, a little bit more.
Okay.
There are 3 successful runs and 1 failed.
So let's see. Let's keep it there. We run it a debug and see what we come up with. Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat? I can't understand you.
I was saying let's keep this issue open, and
Yes.
we let it run for a few more times. I will remind Hardik to push the patch, or I will do it to put it at debug level instead of info, and then we can look at the logs whenever it shows up again. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so I think we're done with these topic set of things to backport and the current open bugs that we need to fix. I wanted to touch upon the 2.10 roadmap for the next 6 months, and especially 2 things that we will have to work on as a group, and we know that 2 things will come in. One is the FTTB support for Deutsche Telekom. So there will be changes, mainly from the team at Radisys with Amit Ghosh in Deutsche Telekom that they will bring in for this. They will be asking ourselves for help, and maybe Holger, you could give them some hands in the implementation side. I will, whenever they start the work, I'll remind Amit to come to this meeting, or whoever works on it to come to this meeting and keep our group up to date. If you want more detail on the changes that are expected to come in for this, they are in this document. Just feel free to go ahead and look at it. The other feature that will be involved with the OpenONU adapter is the voice support here for NetCenter Telecom, and we have that already on our agenda for the meetings, so we can just take it day by day on that, and the work was already started, so we'll just continue that work. Apart from that, the other elements you can take a look at here. They're not major things. There might be some optimization that we have to do due to some enhanced scale numbers that we want to reach. So we'll have to test and debug those, and maybe some help will be required there as well. Any questions or comments?
Perhaps regarding stuffing of the new version, you introduced to us Elia will join us.
Yes.
Will he have a special field of work, or what should he do in the project?
So he joined as part of the ONF team. So he will focus on the many different things that the ONF team is focusing on, especially around the testing. He's starting to get some features into BBSim to get his feet wet with the project. You've seen the MDS count. I've asked him to do some checks on EPOL that were needed in BBSim. He will also, I've asked him also to work, and this is interesting to Mahir and the Netsia team. I've asked him to work on the BBSim support for the POTS UNI and the POTS messages. So that will be done as well. We'll probably ask him at some point to help maybe on the FTTB support for BBSIM, for example. But also he will be working with us on one of the things that we at ONF will do this release, which is start the work for the ONOS replacement, which you can see down here below.
Okay, where will be his home ground or his location?
He's based in Milan. So with me effectively, so he's in Europe, so you can ping him on the European time frame.
Okay, I see.
It's good news. It's really good news.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on the roadmap?
Okay, the time frame for the DPU support is.
Oh, so this is the 2.10 roadmap. So we are aiming at releasing this on the 30th of June with the code freeze. I didn't put it here, but code freeze around, give or take, the 3rd of June. Okay. Okay. Somewhere around there. It's not like a set in stone date. It's a long time from now. So. But give or take, I would like 3 weeks of testing before we call this a release, as we have a little bit more time given the 6 months. So this is the roadmap and the timeline.
And regarding the 2.8, what is your expectation? How long this will be used by the customers?
So 2.8, it's very simple. It's not about the customers. They can use it as much as they want, but the ONF support will be continued for the total of this release, so 2.10, and also for 2.11. So for the next year, we will still backport stuff to 2.8 when and if needed, as we discussed. So on a case-to-case basis, we can check. I would envision that going forward, there will be less and less stuff that we backport, because I mean, the code base changes and it's not going to be more applicable and things like that. But there will still be support for it given by everybody here. And if we need to backport something, we will do it.
Okay. And when will Deutsche Telekom switch over to 2.9? Do you already know?
I do not know. So I cannot give you a date. I know they are looking into 2.9 to move there, but especially what they are interested in is 2.10 because of this FTTB support. So long story short, I don't have an answer for you. It will happen during this year. They will move to 2.10 as soon, but again, don't have a firm date.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions on the roadmap? No? Okay. Then if not, let's progress on the status of the things that we have on our agenda. On the software update, where do we stand?
Sorry, Andrea.
Yeah, go ahead, Thorsten.
Can you go back to the issue with the? No, this is not the other one with the Unitech. Uniport. Sorry. This is running only in info level. Still run. This should be changed to the bug level.
Yes. I need to make a patch. That's what I was saying before. Either myself or Hardik need to make a patch for this.
Okay, yes. That's it.
I will do it.
Fine. Great. Okay, go on.
No problem. Okay, on the software update, we just merged the protos for this today. So this optimization actually is in the code, at least the protos for it. And there was a great improvement in terms of capability and like consumption of CPU. So before, where the single message was going back and forth, it was taking 870 CPU cycles, and instead here is taking 165 with one, and also going down to 4 minutes instead of 15. Which is a good improvement. And 6 minutes for 32 ONUs. It's not too bad simultaneously. So I think this is a good improvement. And it's actually thanks to Amit and his team that are bringing this forward. Okay. The rest of this, we did backport the issues for multiple devices. Still needs to be tested at scale. So this still needs to be done. The testing at scale of multiple ONUs at the same time is important. And let me bump that up. So we'll have to do that. I might create a Jira for this, so we can. Okay. So this is actually being tested. On the voice over IP support, Mahir, do you have any update on it?
Actually, I don't. I think the focus is changed for a while from Netsia side. And also they have some problems about the ONU devices and the supported ONU devices. So they was trying to find some new devices to support VoIP on hotspots. But we will continue, we'll carry on soon. Okay.
Okay. So I guess there is no update really.
No.
Yeah, okay. This is still a target for 2.10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If there is anything we can help with, let me know.
Okay, sure.
Okay. On the testing front, as I mentioned before, Elia is working on this. There's a Gerrit patch for it that I can link here. I saw Holger, you had a comment. I could probably work with Elia to announce this, to actually you pass it an MDS value that you want, and it just sets it to that, so you can actually do some testing. Would that work better?
I think my comment was that he always sends back a 0 when he invalidates the MDS value. And my proposal was to choose a random number in the given range, different from the current MDS value, to have some more better realistic scenario.
So you just want a random number.
Or he can also make an incrementation or decrementation by randomly or something like this, because I would like to have different values on because that would be a more realistic scenario. But we already saw some invalid MDS counters, for example, when an OMSI configuration was already in progress, when the adapter was killed or something like this, then and it comes back, then we mostly see that the MDS value is 1 or 2 digits or figures smaller than the one we have stored. So that was all the suggestion to have this more realistic scenario. I don't have in mind if 0 is a valid number. Probably not.
Oh.
No?
Okay. So what you're saying is that the best thing is to decrement the value by a random number between 1 and 10.
Yeah, could be, yeah. Decrement or increment.
Okay.
Okay, I just made that same suggestion on the patch. I'm glad for once I got something right with ONU.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same opinion.
yeah, for mid-data sync, the value of 0 is indicated after a mid reset. So that might be useful if ONU did a gratuitous reset by accident. You know,
So we will not see the 0, right, for normal proceeding then.
not for a properly functioning ONU unless you do a mid reset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a value not 0, but different from the one we stored. Yeah. Okay, and in the range up to 255. Yeah.
Yeah. And some ONUs have difficulty in not properly counting it. So typically it's less than on malfunctioning ONUs that have bad home CI stacks.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work with Ilya on that.
But Andreas, the test case itself will also be written by Ilya.
Sorry, what?
Do we want to have a new reconcile suite, or should it be only a new test case in the reconcile test suite to check this?
I would say just just to have it within the same reconcile.
And Thorsten, do you know if we can manage it in the same test suite, because it has to be this setting it invalid has to be configured towards BBSIM, right? I don't know if this has to be done at startup or as a temporary configuration command.
I think this is during the Helm charts activation. When you start up the BBSIM, you have to set it.
But Andrea, then we would always have this invalid MDS, right? If we configure it already at startup of BBSIM, right?
No, you don't configure it at startup. This is a BBSIM CLI command.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You can just use it. You can just use it whenever you want, like ONU reboot or things that you already use, Thorsten.
Okay, I see.
I can set it dynamically.
Yes.
And reset it dynamically too.
You can so hold on. There is the patch. What the patch does is push create a command that resets it to some value. Okay. So Holger was suggesting to reset it to a random value incremented by 1 and 10. Okay, so we have 10. You call this CLI command and it goes to 13. Okay. Would that be okay? Or would you prefer to actually have a command that you set it to 14? Like you want it to be 14, so you can then check things. Like
actually, there's in the adapter it will only be checked if the value stored in the ONU and in the adapter are equal. So there's nothing done differently if depending on the difference. It's more or less different. Actually, it's all the BBSIM knows what the current value of the MDS is, and then it falsifies it up in this CLI command, right? And actually the how much it will be falsified is not so important, but it should be a random some random number. So okay, so the proposal to falsify it by a number of between 1 and 10 is okay, I think. But you have to be aware that you don't come or exceeds the possible values, and also excludes the 0 because it is reserved. As you already wrote.
Okay, so random number is fine, and you can dynamically use this command.
Okay, and then one time falsifies this value, and okay, I see. Okay, your statement was that Elea will do this patch, or should Thorsten do it?
Yeah, no. The testing patch. Oh, the testing patch. I would prefer Thorsten to do it, but if he has the time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is actually backported, right, Thorsten? Or can you give us an update? No? Oh, okay.
No backporting. But the next point can be skipped. It's done.
This one?
Reconcile test.
Okay. And then we have that scale test that we were talking about. Okay. Anything else? On the testing?
Chip, do we have a time frame regarding this new constants for the attribute names?
Yeah, I'll probably have that. Yeah, I just stepped back. I was out of the room for a second. I'll have I was going to first do the check-in for the outstanding relaxed decode that I had completed before the 2.9 release. So I want to check those in, and then I'll probably do the constants. I can probably get that in by the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that in 2 check-ins. One check-in is going to be a unit test to validate all the strings, to make sure that they're all there. And then I'll actually do the constant one. That way we know I don't have to visually compare to make sure that nothing got broken.
Okay, see.
So I'll shoot towards the before the end of the month.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it is fairly simple.
Andrea, what comes into my mind, there was also we wanted also a BBSim patch to be able to that BBSim sends unknown attributes. You remember? You talked about this.
Yes.
I think we have already a Jira for this, but I don't know the number yet.
Okay, I can find this. Okay. Okay, will do.
I think so.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
No.
Okay. Then, if not, thanks everybody for joining. We get 20 minutes back for the day, and let's continue the great work. I have a few action items on myself. Please do take a look at your action items, and let's continue on Slack and the mailing list, and talk again the next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a great evening or rest of your day.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
All right.